Vengo a cantarles, señores, de un hombre muy valiente. Él viene a proteger y servir a los residentes. Su nombre está mi Rodella, el consentido de la gente.
Welcome once again to the Paso podcast. We thank you for joining us. And again, today our guest is Vince Crispin. Vince, you no longer need any introduction. But where we left off, because I went over my notes, I'm trying to keep notes now. Where we left off, Vince, was that Friday before my trial. So it would have been uh, uh, anyhow, I can't remember what date it would be. My trial ended the 26th, so 21st, 2019, the 18th. Does that sound right? The 18th of September
Probably.
of 2014. We got a visit from the Santa Clara Tribal Police Chief and one of his officers. And when they came in, of course, I was very fond of the tribal chief. Um, we had spent several years in law enforcement together. I knew his father from years past. I knew his brothers. The family had been very supportive of my efforts, past efforts. I know that you have your own story about the family, and it seems that to this day you still remain close with part of that family. And anyhow, so when he came into my office, he had my immediate attention, and what he asked of me was he said that he was having problems with the council, that they were getting ready to fire him, they were getting ready to can him, and that a commission from me would help him tremendously. Do you remember any of that conversation, Vince?
I'm trying to, but I don't. And I'm vaguely remembering. I mean, it's coming to me, but I don't remember the exact context of the conversation itself.
So they come in and we go behind closed doors, and the chief tells me that he's got some problems with the council and that they're getting ready to can him, but that he thinks that if I commission him, it'll help him. And in our conversation, I tell him, I tell him, Chief, I know your governor very well. He's been a friend. He's been a friend of mine. He's been a friend of the family, and I know that I can go talk to him. Do you think that would work better? I had the utmost respect for him. I had the utmost respect for the way he was running that office. Uh, it seemed to me that every time that I had contact with that office or with him, things were running okay. You have a sense for when it's a problem office. It
Yes.
doesn't take long for word to get out there, but things seem to be rolling well in his favor. So I wasn't afraid to speak for him, but he was adamant that what he needed was my commission, which it, immediately several red flags went up, and um, anyhow, I'm keeping note of the time because I've lost track of time a couple of times. So I asked our secretary to come in, and she came in and she took care of the commission. And in the conversation that occurred while that was happening, uh, he the chief gave me reason to believe that if I commissioned his officer, that too would help him. So I commissioned the officer as well. And Vince, for those that might not know, when you commission someone, you're giving them authority to enforce the laws within your jurisdiction. So obviously, when you look at the Santa Clara tribe, uh, and you look at the county of Rio Arriba, the county of Rio Arriba is considerably larger, and so it would expand his authority. It would have expanded his authority, and that's basically what I did. Uh, but as they left the office, Vince, by then you were in the office with us. by the time they left the office, in my mind, I had already formulated a thought, and that thought was somebody had given the chief and his officer some direction. That was my opinion. And it was my opinion then, and it's considerably stronger today. I'm certain that that's what happened. But again, my opinion is that someone gave them direction to come see me, and that what they believed was going to happen was a quid pro quo. And quid pro quo is this for that.
Yeah.
So I would commission them, and in exchange, they would do something for me. Vince, as they left my office, there was nothing I could think of that I could ask him for. So I think that in whoever's mind was giving him direction, I think that what they were hoping for was that I would say, "Hey, Chief, I'm going to help you with this commission to help secure your position. In exchange, is there anything you can help me with this investigation?" That's what my thought was then, Vince, and it is today. But why would I ask him? I didn't need any help in anything, and very specifically about this case in question. I didn't need any help. I knew that the facts would speak for themselves. So as they left, Vince, I was convinced in my mind anyway that that's what they were looking for. The real issue here, Vince, the real issue is this. The U.S. Attorney's Office, when they investigate someone, that they decide that they're going to move forward with the investigation, their resolution is not an indictment. What they're looking for is a conviction. And Vince, how sure could they have been of that conviction if that Friday they're still looking at a way to try and hook me? How sure were they of their investigation? And obviously, because you and I know the facts, they knew that there was some serious doubt in their minds about a conviction. So that's the essence of this: is that they sent two people in. They basically used them as puppets to come in and try and secure a conviction on me for no good reason at all, Vince. But so the investigation, the case moved on, and that following Monday, 3 days later, my case began. But what are your memories of the time, Vince? Anything?
No, I remember when your trial started, but gosh, we're going back, what, 10 years? 11 years?
11.
Yeah, that's...
Do you have any memory of what the feeling, what the sense was at the office?
Well, yeah, it's hard to describe. Just, one of, I don't know. I think dread is sort of a strong word, but for the lack of a better word, it was a somber mood. It was quiet. We were just, like you said, you instructed us, just keep doing the job, keep moving forward, and we did. But yeah, it was a pretty weird mood back then.
Which brings about another point, Vince, is, and I can't remember the date. I don't know that it's important, but when the U.S. Attorney's Office got the indictment on me, from that, what they got was an arrest warrant, and it just so happened that on that date we had scheduled a warrant roundup with the U.S. Marshal's Office. We were working real close with, and I can't remember the fellow's name.
I don't either.
From the U.S. Marshal's Office.
Yeah.
But anyhow,
Mike something.
Yeah. So we had scheduled a morning roundup, and I think that the roundup was scheduled to start at 6. Yes. Does that sound right?
Yes.
So we had decided we wanted to gather just a little earlier for briefing, for assignments. We like to get things going make sure that things went off without a hitch.
Right.
And we had talked, you and I had talked late that evening. That's my memory. And it was just to kind of make sure we knew who was going to show up.
Yes.
And so that morning, I don't have any recollection of any communication with you.
Mm-mm.
None at all. Although in the back of my head, in the back of my mind, I wonder why you hadn't contacted me, because that was the way you worked, Vince. You didn't let anything get by you. So you were constantly apprising me or checking in. Uh, so that morning, can you kind of, from your memory, share with us what happened?
Yeah, I drove up to the office. I think it was still kind of dark. Thinking it was right around dawn, changing to light. And as I was driving in, I saw some guys in FBI jackets around the building. I saw two of them. Right, the first entrance into the annex, not I mean the public entrance. I saw one guy in the corner there. And then I was like, what are these guys doing? It kind of like struck me as odd. And then where we turned in, I saw another one. And then as we turned in, I saw more come around the corner to greet me. And I right away was like, what's going on? And I saw cars, but the lights were off in the building. I think only one light was on, and it kind of was weird to me too. And the deputies were all in the front, and they got me out and told me, don't get on your phone, stay off, And I'm thinking it was Karen Green who was there, and she told me what was going on. And there was a few. It was like about I'm gonna say maybe 6 or more FBI agents, maybe.
Yeah, and were several of our deputies there already? Or
Yeah, but they were in the front, the front doors where you walk in. They were all right there. Everybody who had showed up before me, they were all right there. And then they told me they were waiting for you, that they were actually going to your house, and that I guess they were going to go and pick you up there. But I couldn't get on the phone or anything. And then a few minutes later, you showed up, and that's when they took you.
And I was running late, so I was moving fast. Huh?
Yeah.
What I remember, Vince, is I drove up, and I saw the first thing that caught my attention is there was just too many people for this roundup. Who were these people? But it wasn't until I stopped that I realized that these were federal agents. Now, it wasn't clear to me that they were FBI, but I knew they were federal agents. So immediately the question was, U.S. Marshal's Office, what's going on? But as soon as I opened my door, I was greeted by John Howard, and Karen Green was nearby, and they had a hard time explaining to me, and they've got their tapes. They were having a hard time explaining to me what was going on, but I fully understood what had just transpired, what was about to transpire. Nothing was lost. So I don't know if you remember, as they're telling me that they're going to take me into custody. The first thought that came to my mind is I've got my sidearm, which Vince, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but if you were going to go arrest a fellow officer, would there be anything at the front of your mind that you needed to do before anything? Yeah, absolutely. So they're getting ready to handcuff me, and I realize I've got my sidearm, and I bring it to their attention, and I start reaching for it, and I realized, no, what's going to happen is there's going to be a knee-jerk reaction, and there's going to I really didn't want to think about what would happen after that. So I actually asked for someone to remove my sidearm, uh, and it's really mind-boggling that the suspect, in my case it was me, would ask for the sidearm to be taken out, and that the FBI had no idea that I was armed. And the last thing I remember telling you guys is hey guys, I'm asking you to do a good job. Don't let this slow you guys down. I want you guys to do the job that we set out to do. Do you remember words to that effect?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And with that, they took me. Now, you knew that I would get car sick. You knew that. So I could never sit in the back seat of a car. But they didn't. And as they're taking me off, that wasn't something I was thinking about. But about the time we got to Opera Hill, which would you say that's 15 minutes from the office?
About 15, 20 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, I felt it. And I asked him, I told him, immediately my first thought was maybe I can make it to Santa Fe. And I asked Karen Green, she was sitting in the back seat with me. I says, could you move over a little bit, give me a little bit of breathing room? And her immediate response was no. And I realized, so I told them, guys, you better pull over because I'm getting ready to throw up. And yeah, they pulled over. I took care of my business, and someone in charge, I don't know who it was, realized that this was going to be a problem. So they changed me into another unit, and they put me in the front seat. And so we made the rest of the trip without incident. And then from there, from Santa Fe, we went into Albuquerque. And actually, the truth be known, I fell asleep on the trip from Santa Fe to Albuquerque. Vince, I'm not going to say that I was without worry, but really I knew that this wasn't a problem. I knew that once they heard the story, they would understand what happened. Little did I know that the fix was in. So anyhow, Vince, what I want to do is I want to quickly ask you, because I think we're closing down on this episode. Man, I wish we could do hour episodes, but my producer says that's not possible. We're going to have to sit down with him, because I would feel a lot better doing a whole hour episode, but he's a man that turns the keys, so we'll follow his lead. Vince, I've told the listening audience that, of course, not every time, but on some occasions, I'd like to talk about some war stories, give them a glimpse into the life of law enforcement, what it's like behind the scenes, and any case in particular that you want to talk about.
One that's always stuck with me a lot, was the Kaiwi Martinez case. You remember that one?
Vince, well, I did time, over 8 years in prison. That was a case that kept on coming back to me time after time. And it was just a horrible, horrible injustice that was done to the family of the victim. I remember talking to the mother. The mother, I don't know if they're around, but the parents were members of the Taos Pueblo.
Yes.
Very mild, very compassionate people.
Yes.
And I remember the last time I talked to her, unbeknownst to me, this was part of my destiny. And I promised her, I told her, we will see this case through, because by then we could see the district attorney's hand playing.
Right.
And I think that maybe that's what you're alluding to.
Just the whole thing, yeah.
I can't remember. I do remember this, Vince. I do remember the case came to our attention Sunday morning, because I was in Mass.
Saturday morning. Was it Saturday?
We'll look up the date, but my bet is that it was a Sunday, because I was in Mass.
I was in Gallup when you called me.
Were you working on a case or what?
No, my daughters were dancing. I had gone for the weekend for a competition.
So Vince, let me ask you in a few brief moments, can you tell us what the Kaiwi Martinez case was about?
It was, she called one morning, said that there was a guy came into her house and he forced his way in and tried to sexually assault her, and she shot him.
Dead.
Dead right there. Yeah.
Vince, obviously we're not going to be able to finish the war story in this episode, and like I've asked you many times, will you come back and help me finish the story?
Yeah, sure.
So we'll pick up, because I'm taking better notes now, exactly where we left off.
Okay.
Condado de Río Arriba, quiero pedirle su apoyo para elegir a este hombre. No se olviden de su nombre en el día de elecciones. Recuerden todos, Tommy Rodella.
Este anuncio fue pagado por los muchos amigos de Tommy Rodella.